Governor Jay Nixon delivered his State of the State address just a few hours ago.
Live team coverage from the Capitol on what he says about education and the breakdown of the budget. Plus, Mid-Missouri still stinging from federal budget cuts.
And thousands more Mid-Missourians falling into poverty. KOMU-8 News at 9 starts now.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU-8 News at 9.
From increased funding for education to Medicaid expansion, Governor Nixon laid out his plans during tonight's annual State of the State address. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reed.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Thanks for joining us. KOMU-8 News has a team there covering the event with Christine Roto and Nick Thompson at the Capitol to recap today's events.
Governor Nixon addressed Missourians just a short bit ago here in the House chamber, and he told us that the state of Missouri is strong. Now, he spent a good part of the first part of his speech talking about his proposal to expand education funding. His proposal would triple the funding for the Missouri preschool program, keep tuition at four-year institutions the same, and add an overall $493 million to education funding for grades K through 12.
More technology, smaller class sizes, well-prepared teachers, the tools our kids need to succeed.
The governor also told lawmakers to expect Medicaid reform in what he called the Missouri way. My fellow reporter KOMU-8's Nick Thompson will go over what the governor plans to spend your money on.
I'm here outside the governor's office in Jefferson City, where you can hear some of Governor Nixon's supporters hanging out after he delivered his sixth State of the State address while being the governor of Missouri. Tonight in his State of the State address, the governor reminded Missourians that their state government balances the budget and maintains a healthy credit rating, and he says it's possible in the next budget year to do those things, all the while investing millions of dollars into some state programs. Now, to hear some of the highlights of his speech tonight, the governor wants to increase education funding by $493 million at all levels from pre-K to college. The state's K through 12 funding fell $600 million short of its target this year. Nixon proposed a $278 million increase, which if lawmakers approve something close to that through the budget process by May, he'll get close to his goal of fully funding the formula in 3 years. MU gets a 5.2% increase in funding with the governor's budget. The governor also says he has a plan for Callaway County's largest employer, Fulton State Hospital. He wants to set aside $28 million to pay off bonds that would be used to build a new hospital. The governor also brought back a familiar proposal, Medicaid expansion. He says the state would take on more than $1.5 billion in federal funds to expand coverage to as many as 300,000 low-income Missourians. The governor says the state will save some money with the expansion because the federal government will help cover some of the people the state currently covers the full cost of. The state budget director says Missouri is in a place to make some new investment.
It's nice to see the economy moving forward and being able to start adding things back. Education in particular, obviously, is the governor's priority this year.
And many Republicans, in short, saw the governor's speech as a bloated call for some new spending. I spoke with Columbia House Republican Caleb Browden, who serves on the Budget Committee, and he says that Republicans and the governor normally come to a consensus revenue estimate in which they determine how much money the state will have. But this year, there's not a consensus. Browden says that the governor's figure of how much money will come in this year is about $140 million off. Reporting at the state capitol, Nick Thompson, KOMU-8 News.
Well, the Republicans gave their response shortly after Nixon's address. They criticized him for spending money when he should be focusing on making government smaller. The Republicans said the state should focus on making the state more business-friendly instead of spending your tax dollars. More details on the Republican response tonight on KOMU-8 News at 10.
Change is ahead for Clark Lane on Columbia's east side. Tonight, the City Council voted on plans to make the road safer, but some residents say it's not enough. The City Council approved a new sidewalk and crosswalk for Clark Lane, which the council called a top priority tonight. The crosswalk will be built between Leslie and Park Hill Boulevard, and Clark Lane will also be widened between Woodland Springs and McKee Street. Councilman Mikhail Trapp says widening the road will be the best thing to do with the money in hand. However, some residents who live along Clark Lane say widening it doesn't go far enough. What they want is actual sidewalks, but that's going to cost more than $5 million more. Half of Ashland's aldermen calling it quits now. KOMU-8 News got our hands on 3 resignation letters. John Hill's and Carl Long's letters cited former Mayor Mike Jackson's requests for them to serve and hire a new police chief and city administrator. The two said they've done that now, and so they feel their jobs are complete. David Thomas cited personal reasons in his letter. Now remember, Ashland has been in the center of some scandal in the past year. This includes numerous sudden resignations of city officials, plus a failed attempt to impeach one of the Board of Aldermen members.
Mid-Missouri high schoolers are feeling the ripple effect of the government shutdown from last year. The Boonslick Technical Education Center in Boonville is trying to save a new program that was supposed to start this month. KOMU-8's Nicole Niederberg has the story.
High school students at Boonslick Technical Education Center were expecting to see something new in their curriculum. But because of the government shutdown from last October, the sequester has affected the Juniors Officer Training Corps program.
Because of the funding has been cut, we were all set to go and then lost funding because of the government sequester.
One student says he was disappointed JROTC was not going to be part of his schedule.
It helped my military future a lot, but it'd teach me better leadership skills and stuff like that.
Gamel's dad, who serves on the school's advisory board, says they are not letting this hold them back, and he hopes the program will be in the curriculum in the near future.
They're looking for discipline whether they admit it or not, and this is something that will help put them in that direction.
Until then, Club JROTC meets Thursday for the first time. Nicole Niederberg, KOMU-8 News, Boonville.
Board members will attend the Career and Technical Education Day at the Capitol February 12th to talk to state lawmakers about JROTC.
A recent report shows the poverty level in Callaway County has risen to 15.1%. KOMU-8's Kelsey Kerwin is in the studio to tell us why residents think that number has gone up and how it will affect some service agencies.
The number of people below the poverty line in Callaway was 11.7% from 2008 to 2012, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. And one resident I talked to today says she thinks the number is climbing because jobs there are scarce. The Fulton Soup Kitchen offers free meals for anyone in need 4 days a week. But a regular says the number of people in need has grown significantly in recent years.
It's ridiculous that people have to starve.
Darnie has come to the soup kitchen for the past 6 years and says she thinks people are falling below the poverty line because there are few jobs available.
Businesses have shut down around this town. We've lost a lot of businesses, a lot.
The John C. Harris Community Center offers a soup kitchen, free computer lab, and hosts Fulton Housing Authority's office. Fulton Housing Authority helps qualified low-income families get affordable living.
Public housing is one aspect that could possibly help family dollars stretch further.
Johnson says many families in the community struggle with the tough economic times and inconsistent paychecks.
A lot of families I know live from paycheck to paycheck, and when something changes in that paycheck amount, they can find themselves in a lot of economic problems very quickly.
Fulton Housing Authority works closely with local homeless shelters to help get people into public housing. For a list of jobs in Callaway taking applications, you can visit our website at KOMU.com.
In other news from Jefferson City, the Senate General Law Committee heard testimony today on a measure that could nullify federal gun control laws. The bill sponsor, Brian Nieves, says the bill is similar to the one which was vetoed last year by Governor Nixon. Bill supporters say it better protects Missourians' Second Amendment rights. Opponents say the bill provides too much protection and goes too far. Debate will continue on the bill next Tuesday.
A wanted Morgan County man is in custody in Oregon after he failed to obey a judge's orders for sentencing. Timothy Register was convicted of statutory sodomy and child molestation. The Bend Police Department in Oregon contacted Morgan County Police after they discovered Register staying in a motel. He's awaiting extradition to be brought back to Missouri to face sentencing. It was pretty chilly and windy all day today. Not a day you want to spend much time outside. Let's send it over to Rosie to see what we can expect tomorrow.
Thanks, Brittany. Tomorrow looking like a better day if you have to be spending any of it outside. Check out what's been going on in just the last 12 hours here on our satellite and radar composite. Just a little bit of light flurry activity. With a warm front, we're not expecting much. I feel like I'm starting to say this is a repeat drill. You know, you'll see a little bit of light flurries, but certainly no accumulation. So that's what we're expecting late tonight in mid-Missouri, just overcast skies. But thanks to those overcast skies, temperatures have not budged at all in the last couple of hours. Most of us are still into the middle teens, and that's going to continue to be the plan as we get ready for Wednesday morning. It's all because a warm front is starting to pass us by. So we continue to stay on a roller coaster, but tomorrow is going to be an upswing day. We'll talk about the next time we'll have a downswing and certainly the way things are looking into this next weekend. All of those details coming up in just a few minutes.
Rosie, thank you very much. Running out of gas, a propane shortage could leave Missourians shivering.
And who's getting a few fingers back? That's coming up on KOMU 8 News at 9.